Innovation Unplugged from the Alabama Community College System's Innovation Center takes you inside Alabama's workforce development. Join us for enlightening conversations with community leaders and industry experts showcasing experiences, addressing key issues, and celebrating successes in the workforce initiatives across the state. Here we go again, another episode of Innovation Unplugged, a production of the ACCS Innovation Center. I'm Houston Blackwood, blessed to be the workforce director for this group. I've got my partner in crime, Kailah Dozier, director of marketing and corporate partnerships, and then our esteemed guest, and I say very experienced in skills for success guest, is Dr. Marvin Lowe, director of career and technical education for Bullock County Schools. So welcome.
Thank you. Good morning. Thank you.
Yeah. So how did we get connected?
So my understanding is that Boone, are you guys friends or your paths have crossed? And so Boone is our legislative liaison at the system office, and he connected us.
That is correct. We are friends and we are very connected.
Okay.
His son and my youngest son are in the same grade in public schools.
Got it.
And since almost pre-K, they have been great friends.
That's
all
awesome.
through
Small
COVID.
world.
Exactly. And so his father and I, of course, naturally we became friends as well. And it just the bond got extremely closer when I moved into the area of career tech.
Yeah.
And when he shared his experience with ACCS, that just made it even better.
Amazing. I'm glad he connected.
Yes, I'm grateful for that as well.
Yeah, I never knew how to take Boone when I first came around the system, this job, because he's very serious. And then when you know him, he's maybe not so serious, but such a professional guy. But it took me for probably a year to figure him out.
Well, he does have a downside.
Oh, tell us.
Yes, he
Taking
does.
notes.
Yes, he'll just take off the polo and put on a pullover, but he'll still have on some khakis.
Oh my gosh, he's always in his khakis.
Yeah,
That's so funny.
He's been such a big support to us, and he'll call around and be like, "Hey, think about this. This is going on. Here's how maybe I would, whatever." It's just always supportive, and now bringing you to the table and your story, just our off-air story. I'm pretty excited about this. We're gonna have some
super excited. I
fast
want to know
facts.
more.
And cool. Yeah, us too. So before we get in, I'll do a quick intro just about where you came from and how you got to be CTE director, and then tip it off with a question from Kailah.
Awesome. Well, thank you for allowing me to share. Again, my name is Marvin Lowe, and I've been in education now 28 years. Started off in Montgomery Public Schools, teaching at Floyd Elementary, then moved to South Lawn Elementary. Fun fact about that, my mother taught at South Lawn Elementary, so it was kind of good going back there,
cool.
looking at some of the old faces, even some old furniture that still had her name written on it. From there, I went to Jeff Davis High School and was a guidance counselor there, remained in that position for almost 5 years. Then was promoted to assistant principal there at Jeff Davis. And that was my last year in Montgomery Public Schools. I was very fortunate to move to Bullock County, where I served as the principal for Bullock County High School for 5 years. Had an awesome time there, made a lot of friends, learned a lot about high schools from the other side as being the principal. And then I moved to Union Springs Elementary School, all in Bullock County. Was a principal there for 6 years.
Wow.
Had a chance to then reconnect with some of my parents as these they were my former students having children, now bringing them to elementary school. What an awesome experience. Then from there in 2018, I moved over to the area of career tech, served there, and actually has been there ever since. Last year, I was in a different position in student services, but I'm now back inside of the area of career tech, and I love it.
Yeah, I can tell. That's literally a K12 experience.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, let's put pre-K in there because during my time in 18, I picked up pre-K as the director there. I didn't mention that because we had about 3 classes, but that was an even greater learning experience working with children as young as 4 years old, helping them now get acclimated to school. And again, it was just a great bond.
Was it for you? Because I was a K8 principal with a pre-K. I had 2 different types of pre-K, and the craziest day I ever had at work was when one of the pre-K people were out. You got to have 2.
Correct.
So I'm the only one flexible to go down there. So I go from 7:15 to 12, and I just went back to my office, shut the door, turned the lights off, and I was done, man. Mentally
and physically,
wiped out. And
yes,
it was those people are superheroes or magic or something. They can do pre-K, not me.
Well, the learning environment is something that is magical.
Yeah.
And to watch and listen to a child discover sand and how they're able, and it may be simple to us, but how they're able to take sand and describe it. What does it feel like? Does it have a smell? And they're able to share those things back with their instructor. That is amazing, because some of those things we kind of take for granted that children can't articulate what they're feeling and smelling and touch, those kind of things. So I enjoyed it.
Well, in the spirit of a new school year, obviously this week you guys are going back. What are the most exciting initiatives, ventures that you're looking forward to for this school year?
Well, that is a very long list. So I'll give you just the top few that we're very excited about. And the biggest thing, of course, in high schools, that will be helping our children figure out what they want to do in life.
Yeah.
And with the state now sponsoring and helping us out with those college and career readiness indicators, that's a pleasure, because now it's no longer the days of when we had the Alabama high school graduation exam, and that was over our heads and helping the students pass that. So now it's a much brighter day where we can say, well, son, I know you like construction. Well, let me help you get connected with some companies and earn a credential in this area to help you there. Well, I know, ma'am, you like medical. Well, let's put you in an internship with a host of students so we can help you there. And those are the brighter days I'm loving. Well, to bring that back full circle, this summer we had a chance to work with Wallace Community College in Dothan and in Eufaula about our Skills for Success program. And they introduced, we talked about a lot of them, but the two that we really talked about this summer were skid steer and fiber optics. Well, fiber optics is kind of easy to understand that. But skid steer, I didn't know what that was and still need to learn a little bit more about it. So I had a chance to talk with Scarlett Harris about that. And we set some pathways for our students and some adults in the community. Talked with my students, got them signed up. Well, unfortunately, they didn't jump on it this summer. And I didn't cream them too bad because this was their summer break.
Sure.
And they were active in the community doing some other things. So the first day of school was on Monday. Both students came to me and said, "Oh, Dr. Lowe, I'm sorry. I got registered, but I didn't get things finished up this summer. What can I do?" I said, "Well, just hold on. Let me find out when we can get you back involved and get finished up." So just knowing that my students are taking that initiative, and I call them my students.
Yeah.
I want ownership of my children. So my students said, "Hey, I want to get back involved." I'm excited about that. They want ownership. They want to get out and prove to the community that they can earn credentials and they can sustain employment in Alabama. And that I'm grateful for. So that's my biggest priority, continue to work with my students in earning those credentials in any area possible to help them transition to what they want to do. I'm very blessed. I was 21 teaching school. So of course I can retire a little bit early.
How'd you do that?
A hard mother and a hard father.
Like you took like 20 hours a semester or something.
I did. You know, Dad was in the service, so it was either his way or no way.
Sure. Oh, wow.
And if you got to Dad, you really messed up. Mom was the disciplinarian, but Dad was the executioner.
Yeah.
You know, so we tried not to let Dad get on to us too much, but it was just one of those things that, hey, you know, in life you have choices.
Yeah.
And until you are on your own, you're going to do what we tell you to. That's what Mom and Dad said. So as soon as I graduated high school, bam, start Alabama State. And but it's been a great run, and that's what I want for my children. Yeah. I'm not even 50 and can retire, but I still want to continue to work, and I want my children to have those same opportunities to say, hey, I'm not even age of retirement, but I can. I'm glad I started early on my career.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the goal, is to have options at the end. I just met with the guy who manages my son's college fund, and had a chance for my son to be on the call, and we were talking, and he's like, well, now you can take this money and use it for school, and then if you have any left, you can actually put it into a Roth IRA, or you can pull it out, take the penalty, and put it for a down payment. So we went from talking about my 14-year-old who's about to start high school to talking about my 25-year-old buying a house. Boy, it was a tough moment, but I love the vision of that guy, and I love your vision there, is having options down the road.
Yes.
So you don't have to just take what comes. My goodness, man.
Right.
That's awesome.
Well, life has taught us a lot. And with my generation, and I'm quite willing to share with some of your friends as well, we're so connected with student loans and other debt that we've acquired making it through the system.
Yeah.
I don't want my children in this generation to come through that. Not when we know more about scholarship opportunities. Now we know more about employment opportunities and the ways to get connected with skills and training and so on and so forth. So that's my vision and my goal, to continue to work with the students to help them get to where they want to go in the least cost restrictive environment.
Least cost restrictive. So I used to, when I was at Calhoun College up in the north, I would go around and give speeches about or presentations about workforce, and we talked about what happens if you don't have a plan, what you're going to make in your lifetime, and all the way down to a degree. But when you show them those dollar figures and what it looks like, their eyes light up. And then also how you can say, hey, go get this grant, get this certificate, get a job, do well. Then tell them you want to go back to school for the associate or the bachelor's. They'll pay for it. So now you're making $20 more an hour,
right? If
you're hourly, and you didn't pay for any of the degrees or certificates, and so you have no debt, making more money, a lot younger, and of course they don't get it because they're little high school kids until they're out. But anyway, it's a cool story. So I appreciate that you're out there pushing that for them.
Thank you.
And by the way, those two students who didn't finish the skid steer this summer, if they've already registered and done the theory, they can still do that lab.
Well, we're going to knock down all of that next week.
Okay, great.
I like learning with my children. You learn a lot. I'm an eater. I get to know people by breaking bread. Either we're going to eat breakfast or eat dinner. And I did a lot of that in the cafeteria with my children. If you really want to know about problems in your school, just have a meal with your children. And so with my students at school, I've learned if I really want to have some fun with them other than eating a meal, let's learn together. So I've pledged my desk. So as they come in with their devices to learn, to do the theory, I'm going to learn as well. I have an account with the system. Yeah. So we're going to take the courses together.
Awesome.
So I'm very excited about when we pass the theory to get on that skid steer. Maybe like a little child out there, but I'm going to have a lot of fun.
You will be. I've seen some big burly men getting those things, and in some places they either build a ramp or there is a ramp, and they tip over that edge just to go down the hill. But the first time that machine crawls out and just tips, and it kind of rocks, everybody's eyes get big. It's a lot of fun to watch. So when you get to that part, let us know.
Okay.
I think because that's probably, I know Kailah's already got a whole plan, but we would love to capture that.
Yes. Absolutely.
Feedback and all that. You mentioned off air that you did another Skills for Success course over the summer.
That is correct.
And that's our baby. Before you tell that story, Kailah, tell us what Billy Holland said about it.
Are you talking about school bus? Okay, so let me get these numbers correct. So the Alabama State Department of Education has had 2,830 something school bus drivers since February of 2022. And of those 2,800, approximately 2,000 of them came through our CDL Class B passenger endorsement course, which is powerful, a big deal since February 2022. So we are shouting that from the rooftops and super excited, and especially with school starting and then what that will look like next year. And so we are super thankful for the support that we've had from the State Department. But then also looking for those testimonies of those individuals who have said, hey, that was me. I'm one of those. I'm one of those 2,000. So we're excited.
Well, I'm almost ready to testify. I have one more step to go, but it's been a great journey. Yeah. I'm very grateful for our superintendent of Bullock County Schools, Mr. Sean Dees. We talked with him and about what we wanted to do once we learned about the program. We also talked with our transportation supervisor and also David Padgett of the Bullock County Development Authority.
Okay.
And we were just sharing that we have 7 vacancies in the area of transportation for Bullock County Schools. So that's 7 routes that are not covered, which can be a major problem when you're looking at, in the area. That means other routes have to double up, possibly triple up. That means now some students will get to school either super early or super late, and it greatly inconveniences your parents who could be. Now I'm a parent. My children used to ride the bus as well. So them getting on the bus before 6 o'clock is horrible. Them getting home after 5 is horrible. And those are some things that our children in Bullock County are dealing with. So when I learned about the Skills for Success program that offered the Class B certification, I had to jump on it. Yeah. We put it out there for the community, and we probably had some others that are working on passing the initial test with the at the DMV.
The permit.
That's a whole nother story there. I finally got past that, but it was a challenge. It's what else can I do to support our community, support what the state is doing with these initiatives, and also be a part of a winning team. And so again, through the support of our superintendent and David Padgett, I had a chance to pass the permit. We did everything else online with online theory. It took me about 3 days, but I don't have a background in automotive, which is okay, because I thought you just had to have a background in automotive to really know something about buses, with the brake pads and the under,
Slack adjusters.
yes, a push rod, slack adjusters, the frame and all that kind of stuff. You don't have to know about it, but you learn about it. And so I had to first knock that wall down and just actually study that back. I was in undergraduate school, and it's great.
It's interesting.
Well, because it is
Something
interesting,
new.
right?
Yeah.
So I had a chance to study all of that, and I passed the theory back in mid-July. I'm working now with Coach Russell in Wallace in Dothan. I actually go down on Saturday morning for my third session. He's going to take me back out on the bus driving, and by the second week of September, I'm scheduled to go to Autauga County with the state director and receive the last few trainings on that, and hopefully I'll pass that final exam and can get my certification.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. And then by the third week
Absolutely.
of September, if the superintendent says so, I'll be on a route and or pick up some assignments in the afternoon and or get our athletes to their games, because we're an athletic district.
Yeah.
We're 4A, and having so many students involved in athletics, our teams are kind of larger.
Yeah.
And so one bus may not be enough. And so I'm just hopeful that if I get a chance, I can drive. But if not, I'll be ready when called upon duty.
You're that living example.
Thank
No
you.
excuses, right? We're a
None.
no excuses kind of team. So you're our people, and we love that story.
So thank
hilarious.
you. Thank you.
My first teaching job was 20 years ago. This month school started at Tuscaloosa Middle right here. But I got hired, and they was like, yeah, we'll hire you, but you got to go get your bus license. I'm like, okay. But back then, you just go take the permit, ride around for 3 days, and they skills test you. It wasn't all this. But so I drove, for the whole time I was in K12. But my favorite part ever of teaching and learning, being a principal, coach, was driving the elementary bus, that K8 bus. And the reason is that when you go around those routes, you see the house those children come out of. And house can be a loose term. And you even if they come out of a beautiful house, you see things about that child that is not normal. They weren't like that Monday through Thursday. And you can solve that problem before they ever get to that teacher. So then the teacher's doing their job without any barriers. So when you get that route, man, you've seen it, but be prepared. It's going to hit different than anything else you've ever experienced.
It will. And that was one of the first things I did when I started in Bullock County back in 2007. I had to learn the community.
Yeah.
And my son we was actually a newborn then. And my wife was either at home or at work, and I would just give her a break, put him in the car seat. We'd just go ride the community to learn the names of the streets, the communities, the housing that they live in, and get a visual of that to see where they're coming from so I can better serve them. At the high school, when I was principal there, we saw a lot, but it was a different facade because some high school children can hide things. But when I was principal at elementary school, that was one of my greatest joys, watching the children get off the bus and get out of their parents' car, and I can see them. Some of them have smiles, some of them don't. Some of them hair's neatly groomed, some not. But everybody deserves that love as a child and that respect, and they deserve someone being in that building and the system that cares about them.
Yeah.
And if I can give that to you in the morning when you get to school, great. If not, I give it to you when I see you on the bus.
Yeah.
That'll be great. If not, you get it at a game. But just that's what we need for our children now. And I'm just so grateful to still be able to provide that for my children.
That's a beautiful thing.
Absolutely.
How are you going to take that passion? So the CTE role is not new to you, but how are you going to take that passion into the Skills to Success curriculum? Because you have, man, with K12, even from 14 all the way up, food and beverage, hotel ops, barista when it's ready, 4 different heavy equipment. They could take CDO Class B in high school, fiber optics, land survey.
Customer service.
Oh my gosh, customer service.
Mental health worker.
Mental health worker when they're
community health
18.
worker. I don't know if we're duplicating.
No, come on, girl, go. Your students will be the most credentialed students ever to come out of Bullock County.
Yes.
And you've got 2 powerhouses down there in your area with Dothan, and your area is split. Anyway, how are you going to take that passion for the kids getting on and off the bus and knowing that they're okay to making sure they are enrolled, completed, credentialed through Skills for Success?
Everyone has a mission in life or a task. I look at this I've been blessed, and I know that. And the Lord has put something in me that if I don't share it with others, He's going to take it from me. So I believe this is my ministry. This is me giving back to my students and my community, my all. They trusted me in 2007 when they didn't even know me. They trusted me to be the principal. And I fell in love. And I told some teachers last week at Institute, I came here 18 years ago and don't plan on leaving. And that's what I hope that you all will want to do. But again, they trusted me. So I need to make sure that I'm there for that community. But in taking that passion, I like to model. It's easy to tell someone what to do. It's easy to read about theory and understand that. But it's also of greater institute when you can model those things for children. Some children just need to see success. Some can read about it and pick it up and do it. But then when you can see it, everyone can grasp it then. And so I like to model that for my children. I like for my children to see me drink a cup of coffee and just have a simple conversation. I like for them to see and me disagree with other students, and we respect that that's your belief and that's my belief, but we can still have a conversation about it without putting on social media our differences. They need to see me in my office struggling reading a simple letter from my superintendent. I got to read that again. What did he say? Well, they need to see that because that's a part of reading skills. Sometimes you may have to go back to the text to pull that answer, but they need to see that because it's okay. Everyone just can't pick it up on the fresh read and get those answers. So if I model to them what I want them to be in life, I think that's enough. Where they can see, well, gosh, I see Mr. Lowe doing or Dr. Lowe doing it. I can do it. Well, he's just like me. He's real. He's down to earth. We can talk to him. My door always stays open. I don't care if I'm on the phone. Come on in. Let's just have a conversation. I'm here for you. So it's going to be a challenge. It's not going to be easy. But we still have to give it all that we've got for our children. If we give up on them or take a side road, we're gonna notice that. 10 years down the road, some of those children that we took that side road on are going to be standing over us trying to save our lives.
Yeah,
very true.
And it happens. My mom was sick back in October of last year. And one of the medics that came to the house was one of my 8th grade students at Bullock County. And I looked at her, I was like, the face looks familiar. But, I'm mostly worried about Mom. So when she got a little bit better, they finally got that IV in her. He said, you remember me? I said, you Brian, ain't you? He said, yes, sir. Brian was one of my former students, but now he's a medic in the Montgomery community. And I was relieved. I felt better because he saw I was over there nervous as a wreck. Yeah. But knowing that a student that I cared for is now caring for my mother, I couldn't ask anything any different. I felt so relieved because, again, that's you treat your children like you want to be treated. You treat them like your own. And so that was just a great experience then. And then going back to our children in Bullock County, I'm going to model to you things that I want you to do. If I want you to do medical, I'm going to set up some opportunities for you to get some either residency or interns at a hospital, our nursing home, and I will go there with you. I will sit there with you and be a part of your success. If they say cell phones in the car, I'm going to leave mine in the car. I'm just going to demonstrate those things. You can live without that device. It's fun, but we have to do it.
I respect that, though, that the lifestyle of modeling. I think that even for your students, I hope that they see that they also have an opportunity to be a model even for their parents. We see how Skills for Success has integrated into the schools, but then we have parents who are saying, hey, can I also do that fiber optic technician training? There's jobs out there, that I'm interested in too. And so I think that's such an opportunity with your vocalness about being a model, that our slogan is training our state for the better. And so that's not just for high school students, right? That's your world, but it's also for Alabama residents to make our state better. And I think that you're a walking testimony of that. So thank you for using your voice.
Thank you. And it works. Just on my social media account alone, a young lady out of, I think Mobile County saw my posting. She applied for the skid steer and passed. But she's out of Mobile. So she drove up from Mobile to be a part of what we were doing at the Sparks campus.
Really?
That is correct. Because I was calling and just calling to introduce myself to some of the parents because I didn't know. And she's like, yeah, I'm coming from Mobile. I said, well, thank you for joining. I'm glad you did.
That was this summer.
That was this summer.
That's well, that's not supposed to happen that way because we try to keep it local so no one has to drive like that. But it's incredible that
it reached that far.
You sent it. She saw it. She took it. Did she finish the theory in the lab?
She did.
Okay.
And I'm not sure if they did have anything down at Bishop or anything closer to her own home in that area. Or maybe they could have been full at the time. Because she called me last week, was inquiring about dump truck. And I called out to Charlotte. Hey, she's asking about dump truck. Well, that one is very popular and was full, but she communicated back with her. But I'm just grateful that all the way in Mobile County, you are listening to us up here in Bullock County, which is great.
I was about to say, off air, we can get her contact information and ensure that she's connected with her local college. If her network wants to be connected, we are happy to do that. But that's awesome.
Yeah. I'm a little speechless about this. It's a beautiful circumstance. It's just you just never know. And I think that's what I'm trying to grasp is that you just never know where those links, where those posts, where that one person at the right time, right place that day, it just snagged their brains. Like, that's what I need in my life. And I mean, thanks to our legislative body in the state of Alabama, we have this funding to make it no cost and just your time and energy. It's really, and then just yesterday. The beautiful part of that is just yesterday we had 19 kids taking a class at a college in the north, and there was one company that came, and their phrase was they offered most of the 19 a job. But there were 2 companies there, maybe 3 companies, contractors, there looking to recruit and hire. And so that one company said, I hired most of the 19. Well, I don't know what they were doing before, and they weren't old, they weren't all young. It was a mixed bag. So just knowing those things happen and people are driving across the state to get something that could change your life. So now she gets that dump truck, gets some experience, and comes back and gets her Class A license so she can pull that skid steer around. Now there's not a county, municipality, contractor that wouldn't appreciate a female driver who can haul heavy equipment around and use it.
Yes.
Oh, my gosh, man.
Yes. Well, now is the time not taken away from our adults, but now is the time for you to be a high school. If I had to go back to high school, come on. Now is the time to be a high school student because you don't have to worry about what am I going to do. I don't have to worry about going to Alabama State. Well, I get a teaching job. No, because now these opportunities, thanks to ACCS, they're out there. I'm grateful for that because so much of the hard work that was on us as counselors when I was at Jeff Davis to help children determine what they're going to be getting doing, where they're going to go, what they're going to do afterwards. All of this is practically done.
Yeah. Do you care if your kids take one of these courses and they don't like it? Does that bother you?
Really, I don't. I don't care if they don't like it because they may love it by the time they get 30 or 40. I didn't like every course I took in high school or college. And accounting was one of them because I had to do it old school with the pencil and all that kind of stuff and line up the columns.
I thought you were going to say the abacus, but I was like,
not that old. But I didn't like it then. But I've grown to love it now because Microsoft Excel would do it for me. But having had that background in it gave me an appreciation for now creating those cells and telling the cells what to add and subtract. And I always tell the students, never say what you don't like doing. Just go through it anyway because you never know when you're going to have to love it. You just never know. You don't want to close out opportunities. If a $100,000 job came open for you because you had a background in something you really didn't like, would you turn it down?
No.
I would turn it down. Well, look at it in that theory. So and I would much rather they learn now if they don't like a course before they get into that career and make it miserable for themselves and everyone around them.
Spending money, all the things.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
One time we had a superior ask us what we thought how we felt about K12 versus adults and in business and industry training. And I didn't have an answer for it because I wasn't really sure. We had just started getting into the K12, the CRI conversation. And then after we saw it, and they're probably 60, at least 50, if not 60% of our enrollment in Skills for Success. But what I've learned, and a lot of them are taking everything that's available just to figure out what they like. And I'm okay with that. Maybe if a real tedious accountant would say, well, that's a waste of money. Well, it's not because that kid knows things. That kid has learned things. Even if it's not what they like, at least now they have rather than this direction, they have that direction.
Right.
And that may change their life. And then they find that thing that gets them with the least amount of, what'd you say, least amount of debt possible.
That cost restrictive environment. Yes.
Least cost. Yes. I love
Yes.
that. I love your attitude about it.
Well, we're doing some great things in the state, and we've adopted some things in Bullock County that's going to help us really turn the page. The State Department of Education has provided so many resources for us. We just have to use them all.
Yeah.
With Cooter Galaxy for our K-4 students. We're going to really take advantage of that because that's going to help our K-4 students have a better idea of careers. Give them an opportunity to learn, well, maybe I might like that, so maybe I need to pay attention to this in class earlier in life before they get to high school. With our high school students, with these grant opportunities to help students get to college and career fairs and learn more about the careers, that's really going to be a game changer so that they will know midway of their high school career, I am good at some of these medical classes. I can continue down this path in this career pathway versus, well, maybe I need to stick with ag science because I like getting out there with the plants and the trees. So we're just excited about these opportunities and just now putting some of these pieces together for our children. And then support with the ACCS, you can't beat that.
That's a quote. I'm going to quote that later.
Well, you can't beat it. Everything that I had problems with as a high school counselor at Jeff Davis back in the early 2000s, a lot of those questions and problems have been addressed now. How are you going to get the children to business industry? Well, we didn't have a lot of funding sources back then, hardly any. You do now. Just complete the grants. Well, what are you going to do about internships and getting them exposure? You have the grant opportunities now. You have ACCS that are doing different things to get those opportunities to the children earlier in high school so that they can make the decision, I need to finish this, or I don't like this and I'm not going to do anything different. Because, I'd much rather a child take skid steer as a junior, earn the certification. Well, I don't really care for this, so I'm going to go do something else. Versus not doing it at all, but then later on in life, I can still come back to this if I need to because I am certified in the area.
So speaking of things that the Alabama State Department of Education is rolling out, what has been the response with the workforce diploma? I know that that's going to be new for you guys and probably, truly opening the eyes of parents and students that this is something of value, that they are the state of Alabama is changing an option for a diploma. So have you had any responses in your area positive related to that announcement?
Not yet.
Okay.
It's forthcoming. I missed some of the conferences this summer with the mega conference. So I'll be hearing about some of these changes shortly. But I'm excited about just any opportunity that's going to greatly help our children transition into career and or college.
We have a whole division. I love saying that. I said it last show. It's only two guys. It's our career readiness guys, Matt and Tom.
They're awesome. Matt
came from K12. We met in K12. And Tom is just a career. He could do it all, craftsman, tradesman. Anyway, they've been working with the State Department to get our CRI, all of our courses linked to the CRI, work on career exploration tools like simulators and different things, different programs, and setting up all those courses like your school, with the college, making sure all that flows well. But when that diploma came out, they were super excited, like, oh, we have a real mission. It's like it validated the question from one of our superiors about, is K-12 your focus? Well, it is now because they're the next workforce. And I'm speaking later today at the Alabama Department of Transportation Maintenance Engineer Conference in Birmingham. And when I looked at the room yesterday, it was by far gray-headed, by far. And so I'm looking at that, and everything we go to, it's by far gray-headed, men and women. And so then you're thinking, well, so this is our mission from the career readiness, skills to success to you guys. It may be entry-level training, and they're not going to be experts after any of these courses, but what they're able to do with these certificates is go out and do the entry-level basic work that does not require a master excavator operator. So you're paying that guy $60 an hour. Let him go do that work. That's on a slope with a funny grade, and let these new guys get that experience doing all the other things that don't really need expertise. The gray hair is doing gray hair stuff, and when he has time, he's pouring back into these young guys. these young men and women. And so that's kind of our mission for this. As these kids come out, they don't all need skid, don't all need food and beverage, but whatever they get, now they go and they can learn from the masters.
Right.
Because I forget what it was, by 2035, I think that's right about the expected cliff for the baby boomers. 2035 to 2040 for them to retire, like in mass. And so, well, here we go. So we got, 11 years on the earliest to figure that out. And so that's what we're after. And it's so good to see your energy for this.
Well, you're looking at one of the baby boomers around that time. Because that's about when I plan to step down. I want to do about 14, maybe 15 more good years.
Yeah.
Just because some of the things that I've dreamed about are now coming true. And so if I keep dreaming, imagine what else is going to come true.
Oh, well, that's what we say too. We make it up all the time and figure it out. But yeah, just keep dreaming and find a new problem. It's okay. Well, here are the tools we have. And if we need to make a new tool,
we can.
Let's do it.
Find a way.
So, Chris Strickland, our godfather of the Innovation Center, of this workforce initiative, get it right, get it tight. That's a song. Anyway, he said, let's be quick, let's be efficient, let's do something different. And anyway, he helped us. But he always says, what are you toasting to in 5 years? In Bullock County Schools, in general, yes. CTE, what are you going to toast to in 5 years?
Well, in 5 years, my vision, students that earn their diploma will also have their employers there at graduation night welcoming them to that job. Years ago, actually back in 2018, we started CNA training through the help of David Pageant, Wallace Community College, the Bullock County Hospital, and Southern Springs Nursing Home. We were all able to bring in, of course, we probably mentioned about Wallace Community College helped us out, Joe Johnson with the Development Authority, the CNA training there in Dothan. Well, we pushed about 5 or 6 cohorts of CNA training. At every graduation, either the hospital or the nursing home comes to the graduation and they'll be a part of it, and they tell the applicants, come and see me, come and see me. It's almost, it's like a lottery where everybody wins. And who does not want to go to a graduation where you don't have to worry about a job? You have people coming to you saying, hey, I'm ready to hire you. Just put your name on a sheet of paper. This is my envision for Bullock County. For the minimum 5 programs that we have, we're all connected with some kind of way, be it with Auburn University, Wallace, Trenholm, we're connected. But through now the work with ACCS, imagine saying now we have 140 students for graduation for Bullock County Schools. All 140 are connected with a job. Their employers are here. They have their certification. That's my envision in the next 5 years for my students in Bullock, where they don't have to worry about, will I have a job tomorrow? Because you have the skills. We've connected you with the right resources and the right companies. They're ready to hire you. If you want to go to college, you have already received your scholarship. You're ready to roll. You just now get your room and board. These are the things that I envision for our students. And through the help with ACCS, State Department of Education, and it's going to happen.
That
gives me chills.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So when I'm hearing you say all that, you've got what's the senior class for this year?
It's about 115, 120-ish.
Okay. So here's a crazy challenge. Let's come back in April, 1st of May. Bring you back on the show.
Okay.
2025.
2025.
Yes.
And let's say of that roster, how many of them are on track to get a high school diploma and some other credential?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Like let's aim for 100%.
We're at 50% now. I looked at the data a couple of weeks ago. So 50% of our students have a credential. It's now getting the other 50% and now connecting them with a business, industry, a school, or something that can help them now move from one phase of life to the next. Some students don't need that. They know that they're going to go to Auburn, Alabama State, Alabama A&M. They know that. They knew that at birth. Others don't know what they're going to wear tomorrow, and they're going to have the same pair of khakis and shirt in that closet. They just, what am I going to wear? So they need that guidance. They need that direction. That's why I'm grateful for my background and guidance for the days I spent as a counselor at Jeff Davis, because you now know how to work and help those children make better decisions for themselves. Let's talk it out. Well, do you want the khakis with the pleats? You want the khakis with the cuff? Do you want the rugged khakis? So we can talk those things.
It's a great analogy.
Some you have to go there like that with them. And let's step it out. Well, yesterday you said you like the pleated khakis, so let's just stick with those. And build those that camaraderie with the children, connect them with business and industry, help them move forward and transition. Once they're connected, I'm done. And it's really, and I hate to say this, but it kind of started with the Marine Corps. And I don't, forgive me for saying I hate to say this, but I just got to tie that in. Jeff Davis has had Marine Corps RTC.
Okay.
Anytime the recruiters would come into the guidance office to get a record on a child that was interested in the military, I stopped what I was doing. I don't care if I was in the middle of a sandwich. Let me get these records for you, because that's one less child I have to now help get to the next level, because they've expressed that they want to go to the military. So that's why I would stop, because again, that's helping me. So if I know a child is interested in community college, let me get you connected to Wallace, Trenton, somewhere, even if it's Calhoun Community College in North Alabama and Madison County. Let's do it. And once I know you're connected, I'm moving to the next child, so that now, at May comes, your graduation year, you really have something to be proud about, because the day after graduation, when all your friends have gone home and the family's gone home, you'll know what you're going to do next, versus let me get on social media and destroy somebody's life.
Here's the challenge. I love all that. Next May, you're going to come on late April, early May.
Okay.
Every child's going to have that diploma on schedule.
Correct.
And they're going to have a credential.
Correct.
And they're either going to have a job offer,
correct,
lined up, enrolled somewhere in a college,
correct,
or they're planning to enlist.
That's easy.
Okay, 100%.
That's easy.
I'm talking all 120 of them, whatever it is.
That's easy.
Okay, you said it.
That's easy.
It's on record.
And I take ownership for my children.
I know you do. I'm just picking
because one of those children there will save my life, my wife's life. One of them will hire my children. They will train one of my boys in doing something. So I'm planting seeds.
Yeah.
I'm going to plant those seeds, and I'm going to water them until they grow. Even when they stop growing, I'm going to continue to water them.
Love it. Love this energy. I miss K12 some days. I miss the classroom. I miss all the things that are K12. I love this job now. I love the people I work with. But, man, having that impact at that time in life.
Well, the paperwork has increased now.
I don't miss that. I don't miss that. But just man, knowing, and we make difference. We see it, but man, like, you got them. They're captive. Like they've got to lean on you. So that's awesome stuff. Final thoughts?
No, we're just thankful to be an extension of your team. We truly see ourselves as a support mechanism for your community.
Thank you.
For the local colleges, obviously. Without them, we don't exist. So we just appreciate you coming on, sharing your story, and being an advocate for your students and your community.
Well, I'm grateful for this opportunity for my professional side and personal side. As my son took his first course this summer at Trenholm, took English 101, and had a great time with that. So we're grateful, and we're going to continue to work together for our students and community. So thank you.
Love it.
Thanks for being on, man.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks for hanging in there with us for another episode of Innovation Unplugged. Please go like, subscribe, and follow us on all of our social media platforms. Have a great day.